Hey guys, JT here, and today we're playing the Stanley Parable. So, we've seen a lot of wacky endings so far.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
I'll come back
When
to that
Stanley came to a set of
in
two
a
open
second.
doors, he entered the
Just
door
trust
on
me,
his
I would
left.
like to see the new content that this game has. But before I do,
Yet there was not a single person
we're
here
gonna finally
either.
do this.
Feeling a
Alright, we're
wave
gonna
of
go in
disbelief,
there.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
But
upstairs
not
to
get
his
blinded by the
boss's office.
darkness.
Here's the door, just go.
But go down.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep. Press this button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh, here we go.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
This is, something.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to
There's
accept
the
it
thing.
blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Alright, narrator, I'll play your game. Show's over, we've turned off the machine.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do.
Except for the narrator, of course.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
There we go.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation.
We're finally touching grass,
Possibility
boys.
of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game. That was quick, but there's still multiple endings to go. And of course, new content which we will check out right now. So for those who've been anticipating that, let's do it.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Get the orders.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Here we go.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Yeah, things are gonna get better, I think.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we...
If the elevator could
should we
move.
be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Here we go, it's this side.
All right. All right.
A
let's
jump
see it.
circle.
The jump circle?
I jump outside the circle? No. Well, at least this is some good exercise.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just
Tell me about it.
elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Well, according to EA,
I could
yes.
just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying
That's
the new
it?
content.
Oh, you've got to
What?
be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
That's it?
This is what happens when greedy video game developers with
That's
no
all?
respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says Test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this? It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Let's do it. Get back on track to what this game was really all about. A man wandering around. What? This is new.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Alright, what do we got here?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
Oh,
Just
nice.
our little
We're
secret.
outside again.
Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Stanley Parable.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the
Good
Memory Zone
times.
remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap Nintendo Switch port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
A dollar bill on a thing. A trip down memory lane. Stanley Parables deals tough choices.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Let's see what we got down here. Oh, memory zone maintenance. All right.
Here's another moving passage. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the Nintendo Switch. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that.
Hearing the narrator say Nintendo Switch is surreal to me. For some reason.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Not
Honestly, I
recommended.
could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
And now it's raining, which is not a good sign.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, his preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
No, sir. I mean, you're a bit of a jerk at times, but that can be anybody.
I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you with just the push of a
Alright,
button,
here goes
you'll
nothing.
zip right... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go
Doesn't seem like
off
much
on a
time
focused
changed.
display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been
Has it really
frozen there.
been?
I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's
Can't
no way.
tell.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that
The
time.
room's kind of
Just sitting here,
deteriorating.
not a single person. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year.
Narrator? What's happening? Why is this game becoming a horror game?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain.
This is getting kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end,
And
is
now our
never the
narrator
end,
has
is never
just
the
about
end, is never the
broken.
end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is
I know you were a jerk, man, but I didn't mean to break you like that. This game continues to go into horror territory. Listen to that. What? Is there a war going on outside or is it a storm? Ah, there we go. Light. Plantation. Looks a little bit better. Dang it, we're back to the horror game elements now. Skip again before Slender Man comes out. Oh. Oh. I think we may have done an oopsie. Yeah, we've done an oopsie. Okay. Well, gang, I'm just gonna walk off into the sunset. Or not. This is JT signing out.